Yeah, g'day YouTubers. Tinker O'Toole again here with another video. Today we're just going to talk about floating rim sprockets. Floating rim sprockets are fantastic. You don't have to change the whole clutch drum. All you got to do is change roughly just the actual floating sprocket itself. And that means that it's significantly 3-4 times cheaper doing that than buying the clutch drum. Now, they come in different sizes, 7-pin and 8-pin. There's even some 9-pin ones, but generally speaking, it's either 7 or 8. Now, the 7-pin one, just to give you some information about the diameter of it, the diameter is approximately 35.7 millimeters. And if you multiply that by pi, it's about 112 millimeters long. And if you multiply it, say, by 10,000 revs, that comes to 1.120 million millimeters. And then if you divide that back by 1,000, that comes to 1.12 kilometers per minute at 10,000 RPM. So if you're doing 12,000 RPM on your chainsaw, it's going to be doing around about 1.5 kilometers per minute. That's a long distance. And in that 1.5 kilometers, if you actually look at the teeth, and they're roughly, say on a 3/8 chain, there would be many thousands of cuts in a kilometer. Quite a lot. Now, if we go to the 8 tooth or 8 drive link one, you'll find out that it's 40.7 millimeters in diameter, and that multiplied by pi comes to 127 mils in length approximately, without the without the decimal point. So 127 multiplied by 10,000 RPM comes to 1,270,000. Divide it back by 1,000, and then you've got 1.27 kilometers for 10,000 RPM, that is. Now, the difference between the 7-pin and the 8-pin or drive link, the sprocket, is 13%. Now, 13% is actually quite a fair bit. So this one's going 13% faster. Now, it may be going 13% faster, but you're going to reduce the amount of torque, because you're going to need more torque to drive that, and you're not going to get that. So where are you going to use that 8-tooth? What is the function of it? What is the main purpose of, say, installing an 8-tooth one over, say, a 7-tooth one, or pin, or whatever you want to call them, drive link? So there really is no reason why you'd want to use an 8, because it's like having an extra gear in a car. And the moment you want to go up a bit of a hill, it's going to need to change back into gear. And this is exactly what happens with this. You're cutting through the log, and if you're going to do a dog cut, it'll start to bog down. You'll notice it bog down much easier. So my recommendation is that you never actually ever go up in size using one of these. If your saw comes out with an 8 slotter or an 8-pin, use that. Yes, you could go down to 7. That would actually give you more torque. But if you've come out, most saws come out with a 7, stick with it. Don't even think about changing that up unless you've got a chain. Now, this is about the only time that I would ever do this. Let's just say you had a chain that was stretched and you run out of adjustment. Well, if you were to put that in there because of the extra diameter, in that situation, if you had one laying around, that's when I would use that. I would put that on there, then I'd get my chain adjustment back. And that would be on a very old chain, so I wouldn't really be worried about doing it. But I certainly wouldn't be using this full time. Now, that said, I'm guilty of doing it because like everything in chainsaws, I like to try everything that you can out there. And if you're cutting smaller logs, it's not an issue. It only becomes an issue if you're, let's just say you've got a 20-inch bar on and you're trying to cut the maximum log with that. The moment you put a little bit of pressure or you do a bit of a dog cut, you'll find out it bogs down. And that's the problem. So to me, there is no advantage of putting that on whatsoever unless your chain is stretched. And that's the only reason I would ever put that on. So that's my take on it. That's my experience with them. And I tried using this in a few saws, off and on for a couple of years. And I always felt that if I had a log, a fairly large log that was going, and very hard timber, and it was going to push the saw to its limit, that using this it would be a negative. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye for now.